It's lit now. Shout out EmEz and tune in to the sit down.
Check. EmEz. What's up, Brody?
Thank you for coming. This is the sit down. All right, people. It's the sit down. We back at it again. It's your guy EmEz and these guys from across from me. You might be familiar with some. You may not. Formerly of Money and Violence. Is that how I pronounce this?
Yeah. Money and Violence.
Go ahead.
Your boy Rafe over here. Know what I mean, for Money and Violence, we back at it.
Who else is here? Talk to me. Introduce yourself, sir.
You already know it's your boy Big Grand, man, like $1,000, man. Flatbush finest, we here, man.
Like that. This Christopher Pons, Tito. I wasn't in Money and Violence, but I'm in the spot.
Okay, so explain the spot to me.
All right, so you know what I mean, it's been 3 years since the last season of Money and Violence.
Okay, hold on. Let's rewind.
Okay.
What happened with Money and Violence? Why didn't we come back?
All right.
Just so the fans could know.
We've been in development with STARZ for the past 2.5 years.
STARZ, the station.
STARZ, yeah, the STARZ network. So if anybody knows how television works, you get a developmental deal. You pretty much work out your scripts or whatever. Now, what happened was, as of December of last year, I felt that this thing was taking too long because my audience been waiting for this next season. Went to these STARZ executives. I'm like, I can't keep going at this rate no longer. And their answer to me was that we can't tell you if this is going to take another year or another 5 years.
What?
Exactly. So then it was time for my attorneys to talk to them, get me out of that deal. And next season's still coming out, but it's taking some time. So that's why I decided what I'm going to do, you know, since my audience been waiting for so long, is create a new project, produce it on my own once again, and throw it back out there. So that's how we have now The Spot.
Okay. So how did the spot come about? Like, what is it about?
Okay, The Spot is pretty much it's a transition story. You know what I mean? It's the old Brooklyn set in the new Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much a transition story about a dude that's chasing it just like we all are. He lost everything. He's trying to get back to the top once again, and at the same time he's surrounded by all these people from his past who are pretty much holding him back, that he's outgrown. Like, we have this dysfunctional thing with our mindsets where we grow up in the hood where we kind of feel guilty for outgrowing people. You understand?
Oh, that's so crazy. Me and my man was just talking about that earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens all the time.
Exactly. So he's trying to move forward, but he has all these people from his past who are trying to pull him back, you know what I mean, into the streets. They still into the drama. They still into wanting to floss on this and that, and he's on the bigger and better things. And it's just a transition story. And it's also the fact that he lives in a penthouse downtown Brooklyn, so it's dealing with gentrification. It's dealing with a lot of different things, man, because, you know, I wanted to do something which was about Brooklyn, but I felt that I needed to make it more relatable, and it needed to feel more like today.
Got you. So where did you find the cast for this one?
Well, with everything that had gone on with Money and Violence, you know, lots of ups and downs, I had decided to pretty much find people who are a little more knowledgeable about the film industry, people who had some acting experience, because people have a tendency to think that once they see your face on that TV screen, it means that you're a millionaire, and people had assumed that so much money came from Money and Violence that had never came.
Okay.
So I really didn't want to repeat that process, so I reached out to my man Tito, my man Christopher Pons right here. Yeah. You know, he was in Joy Road with Will Harris. He was in Belly 2. He was in a couple of really good projects, and I also reached out to my man Big Grand, who was on Money and Violence. I really didn't want anybody who had a prominent face from Money and Violence, because I wanted this project to stand on its own and be its own isolated thing. And, you know, and Big Grand was pretty much below the radar on the show, so I pulled him in as well.
Appreciate it.
All right, so sit down. It's your guy EmEz. We hanging out. Mo, Grand, and Tito's in the building. Now, let me talk to Tito. What made you decide you wanted to be a part of this project?
Oh, man.
Especially with so much, like, credited acting under your belt. What made you take the risk to be with these guys?
I read the script, and the bars was, like, amazing. And I always wanted to say the super fly stuff in the movie, but you never get to. So when I read it, I'm like, what? I'm going to say this?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I felt like I got a verse on the Paid in Full album. You know what I mean? So I was totally down with it.
Describe your character.
Dame is a guy pretty much just like me. Like, I want the money, but I don't want the bullshit. You know what I mean?
100%.
I don't want to go to the club and bust bottles. Where's the money?
I hear you.
don't shoot nobody. Bring the money.
I'm with you. I
You feel
all
me?
the way.
So I don't want the labor pains. I just want the baby. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's it.
Grant, what's your role
What's up?
on the spot?
My character name is Troy. I say he's like a close friend to the main character, and you know, he's like a loose cannon. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, he's on point. So, you know, I mean, I did a lot of roles before, but this one I think is like my loudest role. You know, and it's always an honor. You know, if Mo hit me up and he's like, yo, you know, do you want to do it? And I'm like, do I want to do it? Of course I'm doing it, you know? So, you know, you just got to stay tuned to the spot, man. You know, my character's live, man. That's all I could tell you. You know what I'm saying?
I also want to say one last thing, right? I just feel, all right, so in the last 2 years, I've done a lot of writing for television as well, right? So,
Anything you want to talk about?
all right, so there's a show coming out on the Epix channel starring Forrest Whitaker and executive produced by him called Godfather of Harlem, September 29th. It's based on Bumpy Johnson, right?
Oh, I think I heard about that.
All right, so I helped write the entire season, right? And I co-wrote the 8th episode. Also as well, I just came from LA about 2 weeks ago because I was helping them write the next season of American Gods for STARZ.
I love that show.
Yeah. So now my thing with being in these television writing rooms is, to be honest with you, man, like, television is make-believe. It's a lot of make-believe, right? You know, when you think about it, like, especially if you look at these shows about the streets, look, drug dealers don't have drug dealer meetings in warehouses. People don't stand there with machine guns when you go buy coke. That does not happen. You understand what I mean? And not to mention also, people wonder why it is that the streets are so glamorized on television, and I'm going to tell you exactly why it is. It's because the perception of the game is totally different from the field and from the bleachers.
Explain that.
And what I mean by that is, if you go to a football game, right, and you ask one of the people in the bleachers, how was the game? They may tell you it was the greatest game ever. You know, the receiver was running down the field. He jumped up in the air, grabbed the ball. He got hit. He flipped 3 times, landed on the floor. He was down for like 20 seconds. When he got up, everybody cheered. That was the greatest game I ever went to. But if you ask the player who was on the field, he might tell you that's the worst day of my life. You know, these people don't know how hard I got hit. You understand where I'm coming from? So the perception of the game from the bleachers is totally different from the field, right? And I write from the field. You understand? Because I've been there. Whereas you on the block and you see the dude drive by in the S550, right? And you like, damn, he doing good, but you don't know what's going on in that car. He could have just got robbed. He could have just came from his stash house where everything was gone. You understand what I mean? So what I'm saying is, that's why the streets are glorified, because in these Hollywood writing rooms, you have people who are not of that world.
No.
And it's just their perception. And that's why, that's another important thing, too, that I just wanted to say, that it's about time that we start taking control of our own narrative. You know what I mean? Because a large part of this world has no interactions with black people, and their perceptions of who we are is from what they see on TV. You get where I'm coming from? And we're not depicted as multifaceted people. I tell people all the time, nobody does crime because they enjoy it. They do it out of necessity to survive. You understand where I'm coming from? So on the spot, I think this is one of the first times that you will see these kind of characters so multi-dimensional, you know, so vulnerable, just real people, man. Like, even with the difference between Money and Violence in the spot, I feel is that a lot of the characters on Money and Violence, Rafe and Miz, they were superheroes. But this guy, our lead actor on the spot, he is a regular guy just trying to get it. And I feel that you sense that and you can feel it, man. Like, it's gonna be totally different, man. And I think it's something that people really gonna love, man. They're really gonna be into.
When's it drop?
It drops Tuesday, July 30th, and I'm dropping it right on YouTube for everybody. The first 7 episodes will be for free, and the last episode, the finale, will be for $3.99. So you know, show your support. It'll be more than worth it. Once again, it's going to be jam-packed with jewels, morals, principles, things that you can learn from, because, you know, everything I write is of substance, man. Like, I don't write the BS. There is none of that. This is not, if you're looking for shoot 'em up, bang, bang for absolutely no reason, this is not it at all. If you were looking for a really good story, if you live outside of this world that we're talking about, where you can get a better understanding of us as a people, then you definitely need to watch this.
I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm sold. Tuesday, 8 o'clock on YouTube.
Tuesday, 8 o'clock on YouTube. Subscribe to the Cloud9 TV channel. Follow me on Instagram, Cloud9TV_. Also, as well, I want to shout out my lead, SG60, Swan Gotti, Trendy Topic Tiff. Tommy, S.H. Gordo, anybody else I forgot?
Never sober.
Yeah, Khan's Never Sober, Kojo, the whole cast, man.
Yeah,
bro.
I am Big Grand. IAMBIGGRAND. That's every platform. I am Big Grand. Stay tuned, man. Big things coming. You hear me?
Just me, regular man. Christopher Pons. One word. That's it.
And follow the Spot web series on Instagram.
That's it. Yeah.
Fellas,
The
thank y'all for
Spot.
coming.
I mean, appreciate you, bro.
To sit down. The Spot, go watch it.
Brooklyn.
Bless.
It's lit now. Shout out EmEz and tune in to the sit down.
Check. EmEz. What's up, Brody?
Thank you for coming. This is the sit down.